This is Fatima and it's an ASP.NET Core Web API tutorial course. In this video tutorial course, let us learn the basics of building a Web API with ASP.NET Core. We have chosen this ASP.NET Core as it provides many improvements over ASP.NET MVC with Web API. As it is very convenient and we have logging and DI containers without any additional libraries, which saves us time and allows us to concentrate on writing better code instead of choosing and analyzing the best libraries. In this video, let us have some introduction to ASP.NET Core Web API. ASP.NET Core Web API. The term API stands for Application Programming Interface, and it is a framework for building Web API, that is HTTP based services on top of the .NET Core framework. This Web API is used for building RESTful services, which then later consumed by many clients like browsers, mobile applications, desktop applications and IoTs. This IoT is nothing but Internet of Things. That is an object or device that have an IP address and can communicate over the internet with other internet-enabled devices and objects. We are widely using this to create the RESTful services, but it can also be used to create the services that are not RESTful. Let us understand what is this RESTful services. And the REST stands for Representational State Transfer, and it's an architectural pattern that is used for creating an API that uses HTTP as its underlying communication method. REST is an architectural pattern specifies a set of constraints that the system should adhere to. And here are the REST constraints. First one is client-server constraint, and this is the first one. The client sends a request and the server sends a response. This separation of concerns supports the independent evolution of client-side logic and the server-side logic. And the second one is stateless constraint. The communication between the client and the server must be stateless between the request. This means that we should not store anything on the server related to the client. The request from the client should contain all the necessary information for the server to process that request. This ensures that each request can be treated independently by the server. Next is cacheable constraint. Some data provided by the server, like the list of products or the list of departments in a company, does not change that often. This constraint says that let the client know how long this data is good for, so that the client does not have to come back to the server for that particular data over and over again. Uniform interface constraint. This constraint defines the interface between the client and the server. To understand the uniform interface constraint, we first need to understand what a resource is and the HTTP verbs. In the context of REST API, resources typically represent the data entities like product, customer, employees, etc. All the resources. And the HTTP verb is sent with each request tells that API what to do with the resource. That is get, put, post, delete. Let us understand this in clear in our next video session. There are two other constraints as well. Layered system as well the code on demand. Discuss about these constraints in our later video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Our next video is about prerequisite software and skills for creating Web API in ASP.NET Core.